The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Excuse me! Taxi!
Come on, what are you doing? This is the 77 WABC minicast.
There's no better place on this planet than to be watching the World Cup than here in New York City, because we have every community around the globe represented. Think about the Ecuadorian community in Jackson Heights, what this means to them. The Senegalese community in Harlem, the Haitian community in Flatbush. This is everything to them. It's going to lift them out of their day-to-day experiences and transport them to a place of unity and excitement shared by billions across the globe. So I want to say, New York isn't just hosting the World Cup. New York is the World Cup.
Oh, you go, girl. Kathy Hochul, the bucktooth bimbo from Buffalo. How's Bruce Blakeman doing? Is he going to win this time? I think everything is going to defy political gravity. The political gravity, the conventional wisdom, President Trump is so unpopular, the war in Iran is so unpopular, the midterms are going to be a bloodbath for Republicans. I don't know. What do the Democrats stand for? What are they all about? Open borders, allowing Iran to have a nuclear weapon, this crazy woke transgender mess. What do they have other than saying we're not Trump? I don't think that's much of a message. They have no practical plan to help anybody. They're full of complaints, and there are some practical things that I believe in, and I'm not wavering on. You know, people say, well, there's got to be unity. We got to find some common ground. How can you find common ground with people who want to sexualize children? I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. How do you find common ground with people who don't think that we should have a border security? You know, who want this country invaded and fundamentally changed forever, so that Democrats and leftists reign supreme forever, so they can stack the Supreme Court, so they can rearrange the Constitution. This is what they want. It's crazy. Now, are they going to be able to pull that off? I don't know. You know, President Trump has surprised people every step of the way. And right now, there's a real big disconnect between the experts and the people. Now, one thing, though, there's not as much of a disconnect between the Congress and the people. I noticed something. Members of Congress from both parties, you know what they want more than anything? I used to think that they wanted to be U.S. senators. I used to think that they wanted to be president or governor, right? Whatever the next job is, right? Everyone's looking for a promotion in Washington, D.C. Turns out all they want to do is be social media stars. They want to be big on X. They want to be big on Instagram. They want to be basically AOC, right? AOC, if we had a healthy society, a healthy political system, she would be laughed at and discarded. Okay, you want a seat in the House? Go sit over there for 10 years. Wait until you get some seniority. They talk about the bully pulpit. She literally has bullies, the cyber bullies. Her henchmen and women who will do so much lifting, so much of the heavy lifting. She has what almost all of them want: money and power and followers and fame. Now, how does she have money if she only makes $200,000 a year, which is not bad as a member of Congress? Well, she's got an arrangement with her fiancé. Now, her fiancé happens to be a white redhead guy. It's interesting because she thinks that white men are the root of all evil. She said that before. You know, trans youth are beautiful, white men are terrible. She believes that. Anyway, they're not married for a reason, so that he can be an income maker, right? Money goes to him, and if they're not married, they don't have to file. He's not governed by the campaign finance, the House ethics, right? I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's kind of a stranger. He may be a domestic partner, live-in, whatever you want to call it, but there's no legal obligation. There's no duty that he turn over anything to the government. But with her, everything's got to be filed, financial disclosure. So I'm sure she is just making her salary and this, that, and the other thing. Whereas what is coming to that guy? Who is that guy? Why don't we ever hear about Mr. AOC? I see him every now and then. Big, tall, goofy-looking redhead guy. Yeah, she married a white man. I noticed that some of the biggest wokesters in the media, those who play the race card worse than anybody, are often married to white men. Now, why is that? I'm thinking of, am I thinking of Joy Reid? Am I thinking of Jonathan Capehart? Definitely Jonathan Capehart. Who is another one? Tamron Hall? What about her? The wokesters, right? The hardcore leftists, especially those who use race as a weapon. And those who use race as a weapon often, not always, but often, I've seen all kinds of people do this. I know a guy in the military, right? Let's just talk about race for a second because this does come from about race. He happens to be white, but he has a method of shutting down any and all conversation when it comes to anything war, right? Well, look, I've killed people, and I'll tell you how it's done. And we throw a grenade in the roof and blah, 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 Mike, right? It immediately shuts up everybody in the room because nobody else in the room has killed people, right? It inhibits, it intimidates, not me, by the way. I don't think that's a good way to talk, but I've seen him do it. I like the guy, but he does it all the time. And I actually think he's a great guy, except for this. And I told him, you know what? That's obnoxious, and I know what you're trying to do. You're just trying to stifle debate. You're not even trying to win a debate. You're just trying to stop it. You stop the conversation when you start talking like that. It's also, I have seen it done with race, right? As a black man, I think this, and if the room happens to be full of white people, that shuts up the conversation. Unless, of course, if I'm around. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't think most people care about race. I don't want that race to be used as a weapon. I don't want it to be used as a hindrance. Nobody should get credit for, and nobody should get blamed for the things they can't control. I'm forgetting the name of the shooter, and maybe that's a good thing, but I don't even know if he shot anybody. For all the talk, and there hasn't been enough, of what happened on Saturday night, who shot who? Can I hear those gunshots again? Cut 3, please. Make it cut 7. These are the gunshots from the other night. Cut 7. How many did you hear? 5? Let me count them again. 1, 2, 3, go. 5 or 6. 5 or 6. Who shot those bullets? It's unclear, actually. No one's telling us. Now, A.G. Blanche is all over the place on this thing, and I love Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, outlining the charges. Cut 12, please. Cut 12.
I want to make this clear. This man was a floor above the ballroom with hundreds of federal agents between him and the President of the United States. The Department of Justice approaches incidents like this with urgency and clarity of purpose. Violence has no place in civic life. It cannot and will not be used to disrupt democratic institutions or intimidate those who serve them, and it certainly cannot continue to be used against the President of the United States. We are investigating this matter fully. We will apply the law fairly, and we will ensure that accountability is swift and certain. But we also should recognize what did not happen. Law enforcement did not fail. They did exactly what they are trained to do. This was not an accident. It was the result, as we know now, of preparation. But the men and women who protected us that night were trained, professional, and had an enduring commitment to the rule of law.
Stop.
Today,
you hear how emphatic he is about that? Like, this has to be said, that we have to be convinced of this for some reason. Why? I'm not going to brush this under the rug. I'm not going to pretend I didn't see what I saw. This was law enforcement did what now? Why was President Trump sitting in that chair when everybody else, like Oz the Mentalist, was under the table? Why were those guys just hanging around? How did he get by a checkpoint like that? It's not supposed to work that way. He got too close. You guys screwed up again. Stop covering for these people. What's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? You caring about their feelings? I don't care. That's not our problem. You have a duty here. Investigate, terminate, and possibly, I'm trying to think of a word that rhymes, but prosecute. Investigate, terminate, litigate. How's that? Litigate. Not bad. That might mean taking somebody to court. You can't have 50 guys standing around a checkpoint and some lunatic runs right through and call it a victory for law enforcement. That is wrong. That is sugarcoating, and I will not have it. President Trump's life depends on the truth. Be right back.
Born on America's darkest day of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping America's heroes ever since. Heroes like FDNY Lieutenant Edward J. McDonough Jr., a Marine Corps veteran and lifelong public servant. After 9/11, McDonough served at Ground Zero. He later lost his life to a related cancer, leaving behind his wife Kimberly and their 5 children. Tunnel to Towers honored his sacrifice by paying off the family's mortgage. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org today.